Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 24th of December. Indian Prime Minister visits Russia to boost bilateral ties. Pakistani diplomat with terror links recalled from Bangladesh. And Delhi government announces blueprint for odd-even car plan. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in Russia for a two-day visit, took a tour of the National Crisis Management Center, popularly known as EMERCOM, on Thursday. EMERCOM is the short form of Russia's Emergency Control Ministry. Prime Minister Modi's two-day visit is part of the annual summit talks with President Vladimir Putin. The bilateral talks are expected to focus on expanding strategic ties with a trusted ally and in particular focus on cooperation in fields of nuclear energy, hydrocarbons, defense, trade and counter-terrorism. Signing big defense deals, expanding economic ties and talks on terrorism are on the agenda. Prime Minister Modi is also likely to have a meeting with Indian and Russian CEOs and business heads at Alexandrovsky at Kremlin. This will be followed by a signing of bilateral pacts. Meanwhile, the provincial government in India's capital New Delhi on Thursday elaborated on the even-odd car plan that it has come up with to fight increasing pollution.
Delhi government laid out details of the even-odd car plan that will be implemented from January 1st to 15th for a trial. While odd-number vehicles will ply on odd dates, even-numbered vehicles will ply on even dates. An assessment will be done at the end of 15 days, after which it will be decided whether to carry out the scheme as permanent measure. Those exempted from the plan are women-only cars, VIPs except the Delhi Chief Minister, police, fire and army vehicles, embassy cars, CNG and hybrid cars and two-wheelers. The government said that public transport system will be streamlined to support the plan.
तो लगभग 4 से 5 हजार एक्स्ट्रा नई बसेस, नई इन द सेंस और एडिशनल बसेस स्कूल्स की और चार्टर्ड बसेस उतारी जा रही हैं. मेट्रो अपनी पीक फ्रीक्वेंसी पे चलेगी. 10,000 नए ऑटोज के परमिट दिए गए हैं.
The policy will be effective from 8 am to 8 pm on weekdays and will not be on force on Sundays. There are over 19 lakh private four-wheeler cars registered in Delhi and nearly half of these will go off roads once the even-odd scheme becomes effective. Delhi has been witnessing a surge in pollution, with Wednesday being the most polluted day of the year. It had highest levels of suspended particulate matters 2.5 and 10, taking the air quality into the severe category across the city.
Pakistan has reportedly recalled a female diplomat from its High Commission in Dhaka after allegations of her ties to terrorism in Bangladesh surfaced. The withdrawal of Farina Arshad, who worked as Second Secretary at the High Commission, came 2 weeks after an arrested militant confessed his link with the envoy before a Dhaka court. Jama'atul Mujahideen Bangladesh or JMB operative Idris Sheikh has confessed that he was in touch with Farina in June and July this year and was also given money by the diplomat. However, the detail of his dealings with Farina and the reason why he was given the money has not been disclosed yet. The revelations were widely reported in the Bangladeshi media. However, the Pakistani mission has dismissed the reports and called them baseless and used to malign a female diplomat. The youth in Gilgit-Baltistan, despite being educated, are unable to secure a decent job, and lack of opportunities and low standards of living due to unemployment is a cause of frustration in them. We bring you a report.
Rising level of unemployment is becoming a major cause of concern for the educated youth of Gilgit-Baltistan. This educated lot could have majorly contributed in improving the region's economy. had they been given a proper opportunity. But in absence of any government initiative, they are left with no option but to accept their fate.
तेजी से बढ़ रही है, एक तेजी होती है, एक बहुत तेजी से बढ़ रही है। यूनिवर्सिटियों से क्वालिटी यूनिवर्सिटियों से भी तलबा ज़्यादा खेप ज़्यादा आती हैं, लेकिन उसमें एक चीज़ ये है कि कम ऐसे तलबा निकलते हैं जो वाकई जो तालीम का हक अदा करते हैं। बहुत सारे ऐसे तलबा हैं, तकरीबन 50% ऐसा होता है, 50 से बल्कि 40% क्वालिटी एजुकेशन लेके आते हैं और 60% ऐसे हैं जो सिर्फ डिग्री हासिल करते हैं, जिसकी वजह से उनको आगे हमारी यूथ को आगे मसाइल का रोज़गार के मसाइल का सामना करना पड़ता है।
Despite being rich in natural resources, Gilgit-Baltistan has not done very well in realizing its economic potential. The poor infrastructure in the region has prevented entrepreneurs from setting up industries that generate employment.
बल्तिस्तान के अंदर जो बेरोजगारी बढ़ने का जो अमल है, उसकी बुनियादी वजूहत ये है कि जो हमारे जो रियासती अदारे हैं उनकी बाज़ कमज़ोरियाँ हैं। जैसे कि गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के अंदर जो है सियाहत एक बहुत बड़ी सनत है, सियाहत का शोबा, उसके अंदर कमज़ोरियाँ पैदा हो रही है। मादनियात गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के अंदर दुनिया के वो कदीम मादनियात है, इसके 98% रकबे के अंदर जो है ज़ेर ज़मीन वो ख़जाने छुपे हुए, दुनिया की वो कीमती मादनियात मौजूद है जो दुनिया के पूरी दुनिया को ये एक्सपोर्ट हो सकते हैं। उसके हवाले से कोई पॉलिसी आज तक सामने नहीं आ रही है। इसके अलावा गिलगित बल्तिस्तान का जो एग्रीकल्चर खासकर जिसमें फ्रूट जो है उसका एक्सपोर्ट जो है उसके लिए कोई अदारे काम नहीं कर रहे हैं। जो
The people of Gilgit-Baltistan are concerned about their future as the federal government in Islamabad has not given any concrete assurance regarding establishment of economic zones in the region to compensate the people. Pushed to the margins and with no means of livelihood, many are forced to leave their homeland and migrate to Pakistan's big cities.
Russia and Afghan Taliban are exchanging information to fight Islamic State terror group in Afghanistan. Russian officials have said this comes as the Islamic State outfit is spreading its foothold in the war-torn country.
Taliban interest objectively coincides with ours. We have communication channels open for sharing information, said Zamir Kabulov, Russia's envoy to Afghanistan. His remarks come amid concerns that deteriorating security situation in Afghanistan could affect Central Asian countries. Russia is also ready to supply weapons to Afghanistan, but with caution and on commercial basis, he added. This does not take away from the fact that Russia considers Taliban as a terrorist group and has banned it in the country along with the IS group. There have been numerous deadly clashes between Taliban militants and loyalists of Islamic States in recent months due to ideological differences between the two groups. Reports claim that Afghanistan has become a hotbed for the Islamic State for making new recruitments, with many Taliban rivals joining it.
US troop members paid final respects to the 6 US personnel who lost their life in Taliban suicide attack early this week. The bodies of these soldiers have been sent to the United States for the last rites. They were part of NATO's Resolute Support mission in Afghanistan.
Members of the several units at Bagram airfield paid tribute to the slain US soldiers at a fallen comrade ceremony on Wednesday. On Monday, a Taliban suicide bomber on motorcycle attacked a joint US-Afghan patrol near Bagram Air Base, killing 6 American soldiers. The Bagram Air Base is the biggest US military facility in Afghanistan and has come under targeted attacks several times this year. Monday's attack was the deadliest on US forces in Afghanistan this year. The number of US troops in Afghanistan stands at 9,800, down from its peak of 100,000 in 2010. They have been held back in the war-torn country to assist, train and advise the Afghan forces.
Pakistan authorities have arrested 3 persons foiling an attempt to smuggle ancient artifacts. A report.
The arrestees were attempting to smuggle artifacts worth $10 million from the southern port city of Karachi to Thailand, officials said.
आपके सामने पड़ी हुई एंटीक्स प्री हिस्टोरिक इरा की हैं। आर्कियोलॉजी वाले मुझसे बेहतर बताएंगे कि ये प्री हिस्टोरिक इरा की हैं, कि ये बताया जा रहा था जी कि ग्रीक इरा की, गंधारा इरा की और हमारे महरगढ़ की जो है हमारी सकाफत उसकी, और इंटरनेशनली इसकी बहुत वैल्यू।
On December 17th, Pakistan authorities intercepted 4 passengers travelling with a bag that contained ancient artifacts including metal statues, stones, pottery and bracelets. But officials were not able to determine the exact location the artifacts were stolen from.
हमारे नवादरात हैं, these belongs to Pakistan and should stay in Pakistan.
Investigators are now looking for a link of international gang in the case and are seeking help from Thailand's Interpol.
Former Maldivian President Mohamed Nasheed, who has been jailed on corruption charges, has expressed his willingness to negotiate with the Abdullah Yameen government. Maldives has been witnessing political turmoil ever since Nasheed was arrested in March this year.
In his message to President Abdullah Yameen, Nasheed stated that he does not want any damage done to the country due to the recent resolution passed by the European Union. But the only way to avoid such an unfortunate circumstance is to compile a reform agenda. According to media reports, the government has stated that it will not find a way to compile a reform agenda with the jailed ex-president. Nasheed, the first democratically elected ruler of Maldives, was sentenced to 13 years imprisonment this March on terror charges. His request has come few days after the European Union imposed targeted sanctions to freeze the assets abroad of certain members of the Maldivian government and their leading supporters in the Maldivian business community, and also imposed travel bans on them. The Maldivian government has recently drawn criticism from international communities like the UN, Amnesty and EU for deteriorating human rights situation in the country and allegedly denying fair trial to Nasheed.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Indian Prime Minister visits Russia to boost bilateral ties. Pakistani diplomat with terror links recalled from Bangladesh. And Delhi government announces blueprint for odd-even car plan. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.